You can just see on the top of frame there a tram sliding by on Princess Bridge, probably about 200 or 300 metres away, and that's when visibility ends. Anyway, let's get up there. We are pre-dawn here. The fog is amazing. I'm heading out. I don't even know if you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully it sounds alright. I've had to throw this all together in the dark, pretty much. Let's see what happens this morning. Alright. 4 degrees warning. Today we are more in winter than we were before. It's colder. I'm also trying to capture some images for the education department as well, as I talked about in a previous video. It's all pretty difficult when lockdown's happening and our numbers are increasing, and we're talking about lockdown stage 4, which is I suppose the equivalent of shelter in place. Good morning, everybody. We are here in the fog. Sorry, I'm a bit close. I'm using the Black Rapid to carry the cameras today, and it's just a glorious foggy morning. We're going in that direction to see what we can get. Sorry about the sound. I'm moving quick. Oh, tram action. Doesn't that look like old London town? It's nice and foggy. Well, everybody, it's about 7:30. I have no idea actually what time it is. The city is right on the right of frame. Big tall buildings. They're probably 500 metres away, and we can just make one out poking through over here. And that is outside the city anyway. Oh no, that's the city, that's the height.
Let's have a little bit of a close look at the files. I love these images. It was such a beautiful and inspiring day. It's moments like this which gets me out into the world that really just reminds me of why I love photography. And it's the photography more than anything else. It's being out in the world. It's capturing moments I haven't seen before, situations, weather conditions, lighting that I haven't seen before. This beautiful image right here, if we look over here on the side, I've done almost nothing to it. I've adjusted the shadows slightly. I love this image, and we could do more to it. Let's just give ourselves a little bit more screen real estate here. I think that would be prudent. Look, there's various things we could do here. We could increase the clarity, and for those that are wondering, we are working, if you look up here, we are working with Capture One, and I prefer it over Adobe's options. I think I like that extra clarity, and then structure is also kind of another form of sharpening. You can basically see, I think that's beautiful. So this is shot on the 70 to 200 2.8 FLED, and we can see down here it's handheld at 1/20th of a second at 130 mil. I'm shooting 64 ISO, basically in the dark. This was winter, the dead of winter for us, 7 o'clock in the morning. And if we get right in there, we can see that handheld, even at 1/20th of a second, no problem. So, and this is on the old lens. This is not on the new one. I'm going to get the new one out this week. Very excited about it. So just gorgeous. Love the color. Love how it decided to interpret the color. That's fabulous. Look at the sharpness. That is just gloriously sharp. Let's go back to full frame on this. Yeah, that's gorgeous to me. I love that. Now, let's bring up those shadows a little bit more. And again, I love the depth and the atmosphere, the sense of place, the sense of cold. I don't think we're perfectly vertical here. I like to have my verticals vertical. So let's just see. Sometimes street poles aren't straight. So they're not necessarily the best thing to go by. And it's a bit hard to tell because we're on a slight angle to this thing, but I reckon that's gone too far. I reckon that pole is not straight. Somewhere in there anyway. So that looks great. I just feel like I want to see it slightly brighter. I've actually got this light here up here in my eyes to light me, and it actually changes how I can see the screen. I can't quite see it with the level of detail that I'd want to. Speaking of detail, let's throw a little bit of structure in there. And what I'm trying to do with that is make the sharp parts even sharper, and the non-sharp parts won't really be affected very much. So that looks pretty awesome to me. And just to give a sense of sharpness, there we are at 100%. And those things are looking great. And we can also see up here, once it renders this, looking great. Now, I actually think there's too much sharpening going on there. Unnecessary amount of sharpening. This stuff here is the stuff in focus. Love it. Looks great. And then you've got the moody bridge hidden here in the background. Yes, love this image here. This is just a very classic, very Hitchcockian style of image. And what have we done here? Nothing. I've done very little. Brought up the exposure a little bit. I might bring up just... So in a situation with this, no, well, you know, I like either of those. I like that, where it's really dark and moody, even that. And I like that too. So sometimes it's really hard to choose with just very minor changes. Something that might work in this particular situation is that we bring the background back to kind of this very dark and moody background. And then we just bring up the foreground. So let's just quickly punch in a mask here. Now the computer's screen recording and doing all sorts of things at once, so it's going to hurt it a little bit. That's not quite as accurate as I'd like it to be. But anyway, we'll just punch through it quickly to get the idea. That should do it. And then this actually has a fill-in function. Where did that go? That should have made a layer. There we go. And we want to fill mask. That's it there. So it should have filled it in. Yep, it has. So now you can just increase that part. Now, of course, that looks terrible. We have to be subtle about it. And can you see the difference? Here is the difference. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what's best, but I like all of those. So fantastic. It's just so much mood. And, you know, you take a few different types of frames. I love this because the palm tree is in it, and then the palm tree and the tram is starting to appear. And I like that because I think I've gotten down maybe even lower. Gee, it's hard to choose, isn't it? And that feels slightly too wide for me. I'm not sure. I'd love you to tell me which you like better. Do you like that one or the wider one? And the tram's gone, so I must have... And what's amazing about this again is there's 100% super sharp focus. That's where I threw it. I threw it on the rower. So just talking about focus and the Z7, for example, this target is moving. It's a moving target. They were moving in my direction, and it's very, very dark. No problems getting the focus that I wanted whatsoever. And look at this ridiculous in-body stabilization along with a VR. Although, no, that doesn't work with the old lenses, the F lenses. This is just the VR in the lens. And we are at 1/50th of a second handheld 64 ISO to get the cleanest file we can at f2.8 at 102 mil. So I just think this is a great result. I love it.
Well, that's where I was about 10 minutes ago. Now we are up on the Princess Bridge. There's Flinders Street Station. Well, here we are. Sorry about the background noise. This is a city. I'm not sure what the fog is going to do. It can come, it can go. It kind of does whatever it wants. You'll be able to see behind me the city is got some fog. Now the difficult part is where next? Where to go if you get the best shot? Let's try to find out. Usually as you get into the heart of the city, it's a bit warmer and it's not as foggy, but the fog is still high. People are getting off a tram in peak hour. None. Well, we're pretty close to our office. It's just down there, about 200 metres, the gallery city space. This could be a Sunday morning at 6 a.m, but it's a Friday morning and it's almost 8:30 and it is extraordinarily quiet. This is our mall, one of the busiest places. Well, here we are at Block Place. It's been 4 months since I've actually been here. That's a pretty long time, and I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to just have an empty shop and pay rent. It's not a very successful strategy. This is the beautiful Block Arcade. Still open. Still got the lights on, but largely empty. And then when we walk this way from Block, we get to the high end of town, Collins Street, and they're repairing in here. Good time to repair. Not much going on at the moment. As we can see, one customer out of 6 cafes. The street is normally filled with tables and chairs and people and heaters. And it is 9 o'clock in the morning. It is rush hour. This is all we got. Okay, so this is peak hour. It's 10 to 9. Everybody should be starting work right now. There should be 200 people, 300, 500 people. This is the train platforms. That's all the platforms down there. Well, here I am back at Flinders Street Station. It is 9:15, 17 past 9, as you can see on the clock. This is peak hour on a Friday morning. And it's not. Insane, absolutely insane. We've done about 3 to 4 hours of shooting, running around with those two guys there, the Z7 and the Z6 with the 70 to 200 FLED and the 24 to 70 f4 on the Z6. I think there was some good stuff in there, and I've been able to get some stuff for the education department as well. Before we go to Docklands, we're going to go to the shrine. See you there. Everyone, here we are in Docklands, and it's getting a little bit interesting. As we can see, it's still a little bit kind of misty, foggy out there. But oh, sorry about the sound. I've been out for so long that the road has gone flat, so the sound might be a bit rubbish now. We're just using on-camera sound, but there is no wind, so maybe it'll be fine. But yeah, you can see it's a bit foggy out there still. Here we are at Docklands, interesting part of the world. Over here is Bolte Bridge, which is kind of cool. And then over here, we've actually got some blue sky. So, but it's midday. It's midday now, and oh, and some blue sky over there. It's midday, and I was hoping for some sun, and I'm getting a bit tired now. Wouldn't mind sitting down and having a rest. It's been almost 6 hours since I fell out of bed and got in the car. Well, here we have this beautiful moment, if you can hear me over the seagulls that have just decided to do the birds. The sun has popped out over here. There it is. It's looking quite beautiful. That's a big cloud though. I'm not sure how long it's going to last for.
Okay, and then this is from the Z6, these images. So this was a really interesting dilemma for me. I felt like there was a shot here. It really did feel like it. And then I sort of struggled to find it. But I really like this frame. I think the thing I don't like about it is actually this is a distraction. And without that there, I would be happier. And so obviously square is pretty common these days. So this is a similar version of it. But this file at this stage is untouched. If we look over here at this side of things, we can see I've done nothing. So how do we make this a little bit more compelling? Well, one way might be to make it black and white. And again, you can go back to that same video I referenced before. What I like to do here is to get the sky to be more powerful. You kind of try and leave it intact rather than just blowing it out. So you bring your highlights down and you bring your shadows up, not too much, so you don't want it to look unrealistic. Then let's just push this a little bit, and it just kind of increases all the micro contrast here and there and everywhere else. Again, I think I went too far. Let's bring it back a bit. Somewhere in here, you know what? I think all of that went too far. Let's just bring it all back. Let's bring it all back. I wish I could zoom this smaller. Sometimes looking at things too big, you don't get a full sense of it. I'll just pull back a little bit. Yeah, no, that's good. And again, I might take this to the black and white software, and I feel it would benefit from it. Something that I sometimes add, and you can just see it here, is a vignette, which I've copped some flack for, but I like the idea of focusing into the center. And what attracted me, there's a lot of things that attracted me about this. There's the clouds attracted me, these great shaped, all these interestingly shaped buildings, this beautiful textural bottom. But I also liked this here, this color in the middle. So one thing I might do to just bring that up just an iota is if we very carefully mask it, and I'm not going to do the level of carefulness that I would normally do, because we're just doing this quickly, because we've all got lives to lead. And what I would do is just brighten it a little bit to make it a little bit stand out a little bit more. Yeah, I like that. Now I don't like that my edges aren't quite good enough, but I really, really like that, just very subtle. And then you could even, but this might be unnecessary. Plus, it's basically as red as it can be, give or take. So I really like that. And I might even contemplate pulling down the background saturation just to exaggerate all of that a little bit. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, I love that. I think that worked out in the end. That is the sort of image that could make a calendar, I think. Yes. All right, let's keep moving. Now, this is the image that ended up in the calendar. And I ended up doing the black and white processing externally. You can watch another video over here to see what I did with that. But this is from that day, and there's a little bit going on here. I've brought up the shadows because I really wanted to see the tree detail. A little bit of contrast, not a lot. And I brought up the clarity because I just wanted to sharpen some of these. I love the way these really harsh things look. But this is one of my favorite images from the 2021 calendar. And, you know, sorry to be promoting myself a little bit, but feel free to support the channel and grab one of those. Jump on my website. Thanks. Means a lot. Yep, so that's another image from this day. What a great productive day. I had thought I'd stop shooting for today, but I wanted to share with you that we now have this beautiful weather. Look, sorry about the sound. I'm just using the in-camera mic because I wasn't going to shoot anymore, but after 8 hours of shooting, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30, we've now got beautiful blue skies, sunshine, and it's just a glorious day. And I think we might have the final calendar shot down this way, coming out of all of this.